welcome to Question Mark Season 5.
Yes.
Oh my god, they still let us do this.
Yeah.
Single.
Some of you might notice that we have images of our face playing while we talk. Brand new. So if you haven't listened, if you're
Not even looking at the
discovering
right
us for the first time, check out our first 4 seasons on Spotify. If you're still listening on Spotify, you
Or
can.
Apple.
Or Apple.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Wherever you get your
I'm just
podcasts.
Spotify biased.
Yeah,
you know?
I get it, dude. Same.
Yeah, but wherever you get your podcast, you can listen to us, or you can now find us on YouTube, probably. So, good on you. But yeah, today we talked a little bit about passion. Who's all here? You're on camera now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm your dad.
You're my dad.
I'm happy to be here for a whole handful of seasons.
Okay.
I'm your sister.
My sister,
One of them. I hope.
and she's back. She's been on
I'm back.
previous seasons.
Yeah.
And then she moved away and then couldn't resist it.
Nope,
Yeah.
missed it too much.
My name is Brady, and they pulled me off the street.
So great.
With one hand on your hot cars.
Hot cars.
He told me I couldn't have my hot cars anymore.
Because you throw them at people.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Brandi. Hey.
And I'm Cam, and it feels like we're in the Brady Bunch.
Yeah. Brady
I guess I'm down. But yeah, welcome to Season 5.
All right. I love you. Bye.
What is something you've been nerding out about recently? We've talked about this before, but it's a new season, new time. I want to see what you guys got. I am nerding out about all the things that I just watched Lord of the Rings, right? So I watched the original Lord of the Rings again, and I haven't seen it all the way through in probably like 5-10 years. And I learned a lot more about Tolkien and his like war experience and all that stuff. So now I watched the movies being like, I wonder if he was talking about this and all this war stuff, and then also his little mix with Christianity and C.S. Lewis. I'm just nerding out about that stuff right now. So
I love it.
that's where I'm at. I don't know about you guys.
So what about his war experience?
Well, he fought in like World War I believe.
Okay.
I think, and obviously it's pretty brutal. Like the movies are brutal, a lot of death and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
But also some of the analogies he makes about like the hobbits being small people who are not recognized, you know. And then when he goes back to when the hobbits go back after the whole, you know, everything. Spoiler alert if you haven't heard of Lord of the Rings. The hobbits go back after everything. They're like not recognized in their bar or anything like that, and life goes almost a little too normal for them.
Right.
And they can't really adapt. And Frodo talks about not being able to adapt after the things he's seen and stuff like that. So as a kid, I didn't pick up on that. I was like, yeah, Frodo was just bored. I get it. But now it's like, yeah, his life has changed so much that he needed to sail away to the west.
I had no idea. I didn't know the war side. I mean, I've read the books, but I haven't gone that deep into it. And I knew the Christianity side.
Yeah.
I knew his friendship with Lewis, but that's fascinating, actually. It shows you layers on layers on layers.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you
Yep.
watch something.
And I heard in a documentary once that he actually took offense later in life when people tried to compare his works to, like when they tried to say that he was trying to use his work to compare to like Hitler's rise and all of that. And he was like, no, this is not supposed to be any kind of representative of anything in history. You are supposed to see it as symbolic as what you want to see it as, like in your own life. And, but yeah, I heard the same thing about World War I. He lost all 3 of his friends in battle, like that close friends he had made in college. Like everybody he knew he was close to just died and was gone.
Right. Yeah.
Poof. Yeah.
Feels like a lot of the good writers came from wars too, which we don't need war. Stop warring. But
Seriously.
yeah, like we're
you're
gonna
gonna
get
be
good
writing.
books again. You
I
know,
mean, war, what is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
Say it again.
Hey, war.
All right, we'll pay.
Good God, y'all.
We'll pay that copyright. There it is. All right, Brady, I want to hear what you got.
Recently, what I've been doing and nerding out with is finding songs that have my son's nickname, Bob, and replacing his name with theirs. So there's a song called Don't Touch My Clogs that I've replaced with Don't Touch My Bob.
Which sounds pretty wrong.
Yeah, don't
Several
touch
levels.
my Bob. You know? So I've been finding songs and then just putting his name in it and then looking at him and making him dance.
Yeah. So news to the listener: Brady had a child in our off season here.
Which is ridiculous. I am a dad.
Yeah, Brady and Bree welcomed Warren Brady in. What was the day? What's the birthday?
December 15th.
December 15th.
December 15th.
The Ides of December.
But his name's Warren, so you call him Bob?
Yeah, we call him Bob. You know, Warren, short for Bob.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I had
obvious.
all the players right here.
So it sounds like what you normally do, but now you have a muse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, do I have a muse? My muse keeps me up at night. My muse, I just can't stop thinking about him. He's just like the best thing in the world. but I'm still worried that kid's going to be super weird because he's starting off on me having a really fun track of making fun of him.
You know what? I think every kid should have a good dose of weird when they're young, instilled upon them.
It's like maybe not this much when I'm older, or maybe like this is good now. Maybe if we keep this weird in the family.
Well, yeah, and location is important. So, like in the store, and "Don't Touch My Clogs" comes on. Okay, probably not go "Don't Touch My Bob" and dance your baby up and down the aisle.
Okay,
I disagree. I think you absolutely should do that. Especially in like a Kohl's. Could you imagine?
Write that down. I am changing my position on this. You're right.
Cam, what have you been nerding out about over there?
I've also been doing some music nerding out. I found a band recently called J. Roddy Walston and the Business.
Oh, yeah.
As a band name, the Business is a cool backing band. I just think that's just like, oh, the Business? Oh, you brought the Business. Nice.
Give him the business.
Give them the
okay.
business.
He stands on business.
Yeah, they don't mess around. But
Yeah.
I basically, like, I get in my car, I'll hook my Spotify up to the stereo, and it's like just J. Roddy Walston. That's all I want to listen to anymore. I don't know. It's super cool. It's kind of got that classic rock vibe, but also some of that newer. I don't want to say country, but there's a little bit of country flavor in there. You know what I mean? So it's just rocking good times, some screaming vocals, and catchy licks.
Can you?
Heck yeah.
Catchy licks?
I like
Catchy
a good
licks.
Catchy lick.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like the Bob thing and the catchy licks thing can
I was
work
gonna say,
together.
all I'm going to think
Yeah.
about for the rest of this podcast now is where can we insert Bob? So, like, what's the name of your band?
J. Roddy Walston and the Business.
And the Bob.
And the
Like,
Bob.
say it again.
J. Bobby. Yeah, we're
J.
close.
Bobby.
Close. We'll get there. We have an hour.
But also, yeah, go check them out. They're a good time. Good
That's
time.
awesome.
Cam, I never asked you. Are you an instrument guy? Did you play anything?
I did. I played saxophone from 5th grade all the way through high school.
Which saxophone?
All of them.
That's sick.
Yeah,
Barry sax.
mostly
over
the
here.
Barry. Yeah.
I loved the Barry sax.
I also
yeah.
marched with a Barry sax like an idiot.
Yeah,
Like, wearing the full
neck
marching
pain.
band outfit, a 75-pound instrument hanging from your neck, and you're just like sweating balls in the summertime walking around. So yeah, it was a really bad idea, but love that bass Barry. It's good
Yeah.
stuff.
Fair.
Awesome.
I dated a girl who played the piano, and she marched with that. I mean, she was a big girl, but
Oh my God.
Is this a joke?
Did you call her Baby Grand?
Baby Grand.
Grand.
it was not my wife.
Oh, good disclaimer. She's in the background. You might be able to
was-
way to lean this
She
way.
was glaring at me.
She's hiding.
All right, Hope.
Mine's a little maybe silly, goofy, but the
Compared to
Hunger
everything
Games.
else. Okay.
Which one?
So the Hunger Games.
Hunger Games, yeah.
I, as a prepubescent teen, when the Hunger Games was first,
Prepubescent.
don't know what that word was, but it came out. We
got it.
So when they first the book started coming out and everything, I was obsessed. There was one summer I read the first book 6 times. I don't know why, I was just obsessed with that series, and I never wanted it to end. Probably some deeper meaning there, who knows? But they recently came out. Suzanne Collins wrote a prequel to the series and came out with that book. I'm not exactly sure the amount of years later, but it feels like maybe a decade later.
Well, it's like
or something
President
like that.
Snow was old in the original,
Yes.
so in the prequel he's like a 20-something,
It's him,
30-something.
yeah. He's a teenager or something like that. Yeah, he's going through school, and it's not the complete start of the Hunger Games, but it's the start of President Snow, who in the original series, you learn is a terrible person.
Doesn't he
awful.
suck?
He sucks hard. He's terrible. Yeah,
Not a good
but
human.
no.
So the new movie, does that give him a reason to suck?
It explains some things. The book, of course, is better in my opinion, and because you can hear or not hear, but read all of his inner dialogue and all of his everything else. And in the book, to me, I think you can tell that he's that same shitty person because you can see all of he was making these snark comments in his head, but he wouldn't make it out loud. And so in the movie, they play him up until, I don't want to make spoilers, of course, but they play him to be a very likable character until randomly it switches almost. It's not nearly as apparent how much of a villain he is the entire movie. And I don't know, I've just been geeking out about it because I used to be so obsessed with it, and now it just feels like there's probably some level of nostalgia and all of that stuff, but it's just, I don't know. I'm having a great time with it. I still have to finish this prequel book, but I'm like quarters of the way through, and I don't know. It's fun to get back into as like a older adult, and it's like, I don't know. I don't need to take everything so seriously, and it's okay to enjoy my passions that I
Didn't
enjoyed
you
when I
like
was
it
a
because
teenager.
you were in love with Josh, whatever his name was?
Hutcherson?
Oh, yes.
That started with Bridge to Terabithia, I believe.
So true. Actually, Zathura. Zathura.
Oh, Zathura.
If you know
Zathura,
Zathura,
yeah. That was
was
good movie.
It's
phenomenal
Jumanji in
movie.
space, for those who don't know.
Yeah, it was so good. Josh Hutcherson was in it when he was like very young, but that's not the only reason why I liked the Hunger Games.
Back
Thank
then,
you
when
very much.
you were prepubescent.
I was absolutely Team PETA. I was absolutely Team PETA. But that
Team
wasn't
PETA?
the only reason.
Oh,
yeah, there
PETA.
was like PETA and Yale. Nice.
I'm starting to think Cam's prepubescent.
Goodness.
But it was just, I don't know.
Oh, heck yeah.
I love it.
Also, did you ever watch Future Man with Josh Hutcherson?
Yes.
Oh, no.
It's
I've been meaning
super
to.
cool. Yeah, it's all
Future
about time
Man's really
travel and
good.
goofy
Yeah, I've
stuff,
seen-
but that's a good one.
A lot of memes on the internet from it.
Yeah, it's
because
super funny, too.
People love Josh Hutcherson.
You probably get it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, memes. I get you.
Yeah, it's a one that I really enjoy for how obscure it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's got profanity.
Lots of profanity.
and
Wait, you think it's
nudity.
obscure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's good. It's really good. It's really
Wow.
Interesting. Okay, I'll have to check it out.
good. Yeah, good luck.
All right.
Love it.
Brandy,
Nice.
what do you got? What are you nerding out about?
Just the last week or so. So I don't know about you guys. Whenever I'm sick with, like, I had like just I think allergies flaring up or whatever, like 2 weeks ago. And so was just down, like just taking it easy for a day. And I always watch documentaries. Like, what can I find? Blah, blah. Went through like 7 of them. I love documentaries. Just like random going through. Watched one called Origin Story. It's some famous producer, director in Hollywood that she knew she had Laos ancestry, but she found out when she was 14, her mom and who she thought was her dad were having a fight, and she tried to get in there, and her mom blurts out, "Why are you defending him? He's not even your dad." And it was like, what? And so that sent her down this whole path about who her real biological dad was and how they immigrated from Laos after the war. And it was a fascinatingly, beautifully made documentary. And then another one, Tanya Harding's Bodyguard, something or other. I don't even know. I know.
Can't find that
no,
funny.
not. No,
No,
I know.
yeah, I've
I
seen
know.
the guy. He looks like a potato.
Yeah.
He was a potato. That guy.
Sorry,
So
guy.
it wasn't. It's not like the Sean whoever guy.
Oh,
it
not that
was no. It was the dude who actually did the clubbing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So this, I don't want to say poor 19-year-old Hawaiian kid, because obviously he did a terrible thing.
Yeah.
But how basically he had a broken home, nothing, and was kind of manipulated and conned. Hey, we'll pay you $500 if you do this. And so he went to prison, and Hope kind of the same thing. Like goes into his whole backstory about how he was abused his entire life by his biological dad and had nowhere to go and blah, blah. And since getting out of prison, and Rob, I know how much you love this phrase, has turned his life around. But really has, like, this is however many, 25 years later, like, got out of prison, like, went back to Hawaii, took over when his bio dad, who beat the crap out of him growing up, died from cancer. He took over to raise his siblings, did a much better job than his dad did for him, and fascinating, like just fascinating to hear the backstory of this guy. And he talks a little bit about Tanya Harding and all that, but I just love stories. I love really good storytelling, and so that's clearly I'm nerding out on this podcast
Perfect.
talking about.
Yeah,
it.
no, it's beautiful.
So you've been nerding out your whole life because you've always liked.
Thanks, Rob.
No, seriously, 'cause you've always. That's terrifying.
That's on camera now. You can't just do that and get away with it anymore.
Someone, please take that and make it a screensaver or something. Yeah, because you've done that your whole life. You're a great storyteller.
Thanks,
so
man.
that's-
Appreciate that.
It'd be pretty darn cool if that guy did really turn his life around and became something, I don't know, ironically good at, like a Major League Baseball player.
I was
Like,
thinking
it
the
would've
same
been-
thing.
Yeah, right? Wasn't
Yeah,
that
he's
so
got a
good?
great swing.
Oh,
That's where you were going.
That was
I
the
knew
goal.
that's where you were going.
I made millions off his lead pipe business or something.
Yeah, something so good. The greatest hitter MLB has ever seen.
Here's one at the knees. Oh,
I walked right
my
into
God.
that one. I walked right into that. Totally did.
Dad, before I get to what you're nerding out nerding out about. I want to know what your beef is with turning a life around.
I
No
have
redemption stories around here.
I don't like people who do better in life. Yeah,
Don't we all?
no, they make the rest of us look lazy.
They're the worst.
No, it's just it's the cliches. It's the cliches. It's just like I love words, and there are other words to use, and so.
Okay, what do we got?
For example, but you can't really use it because it sounds funny. But it was in the movie A Knight's Tale, and when it became a thing, it says go out and change your stars.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it basically change your life, turn your life around, change your stars.
That sounds cliche
It sounds
already,
weird.
though.
It does. But could you imagine if I said that in a story? And he's in prison. He used to be in prison, but now he's changed his stars.
That'd be really cool. Haven't you done that before?
Like, what?
No, that'd be sweet.
No, there'd be calls and going, can someone get him help, please? And I'd watch him very closely because,
That's what do it. All right.
it's the one thing.
Yeah.
It's just cliches. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them. Like shots ring out. Really? Have you heard a gunshot? Unless it hits a bell, it's not ringing out. It's exploding. It's, that kind of thing.
What was another one like? Totally destroyed.
Oh, completely
Or
destroyed.
Completely destroyed.
Yeah.
If it was destroyed.
If it's destroyed,
You
it's
don't need
not.
the word completely.
You don't modify an absolute. She's a little pregnant. Partly dead. He's mostly dead.
This is how we grew up.
This is how you grew up.
He's completely homeless.
Exactly.
Like, you either have a home or you don't.
There you
At
go.
that point.
Thank you very much.
So
What do you-
besides words, Dad. Sorry, Cam. Did you have
I was going to say, what do you feel about phrases that come back to the same word, like "it is what it is"?
Oh, I'm
That
fine
kind of
with
thing.
those.
You're good with those ones?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, sometimes
All right,
it is what it is.
What's the line?
It's not a cliche.
It is what it is.
It is.
That is a cliche.
You get what you
That was
get.
nice you guys do that
you know?
together. Yeah. So. I wouldn't necessarily use that in a story though. It's like if you're trying to use something in literature. Yeah. So the store it's been robbed 7 times and they put up no security system. So it is what it is.
I watched that news.
They really got what was coming to him at that point.
All right. Well, besides other people's words, what are you nerding out about?
Apparently this.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get to a question that I think you'll have that answer.
Lately, and it's just because it's very personal to me. I've been really nerding out about pain. What causes it? How do you get rid of it? The way to meditate around it, medicate around it, ways to deal with it. I've got a jinked up leg. I tore my quad tendon. It's an upper leg, and basically it's kind of painful.
Doctor said it might have been the best one he's seen.
I think he actually said, my wife said the worst one, but I don't know if a doctor said the best one.
I mean,
This is the most money I've made on a quad yet.
this was my text response when Mom was like, "It's the worst one or the biggest one we've ever seen." I was like, "Yeah, hopefully." That'd be so embarrassing. You walk in, it's the smallest one.
It's like, yeah, it's like, that was nothing. You walk it off, rub some dirt on it.
you-
Did you
Weak,
get a
tiny man.
certificate?
I didn't even get a trophy. Nothing.
I can
The
make
doctor just got so excited. He's like, "Yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. This is
gonna retire me.
Now I'm getting the twin engine boat. so anyway, just dealing with it because I'm in a leg brace, and I've got to wear 24/7 except to shower. I'm starting to whittle my way off of that, so I can sleep I can take it off when I go to bed if I want. But it's just kind of annoying to have a piece of equipment strapped to you, and it's all because of pain, right? And so and getting the tendon to grow back in the right way and stretch the correct way, and so you take it off, and how the pain hits you, and you're like, okay, I'll put the brace back on.
Yeah.
And so and just kind of I'm trying to figure out what can you do, how much can I do before it hurts really bad. And I'm one of those guys that I will always push it, right? If I, say do 10 push-ups, you'll get healthy in a week. So what if I do 20 push-ups?
Isn't that how you hurt your quad, though?
It's no. So
Mom says yes.
no, I slipped on ice, and that's enough. So yeah. So anyway, it's just trying to figure out a way. And so I've been trying to read some about it, like pain receptors and all that, and trying to interrupt them when you can, and what's the best way to meditate when you can. Do you meditate all the time in some way, or do you wait till the pain hits and then start meditating, which is not necessarily a good thing to do. But when you feel it coming on, is there a way you can kind of get into a zen? Lamaze, my wife and I learned Lamaze when Taylor when she was pregnant with Taylor, our oldest, and I've used Lamaze ever since. And so that's often. So
That's just fancy breathing, right?
it's concentration and fancy breathing. Yes, you're right. So that's what I've been nerding out lately. So,
Yeah, with
Okay.
my wife as a pharmacist, she prescribes meditation all the time for pain. It's her favorite medication to give out because
Really?
it's free.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you is that like
What?
take twice a
lying.
day? Twice a day?
Why?
Was it Ibid or whatever it is? Yeah.
Here I was the whole time thinking you guys were just mispronouncing medication. Oh no, actually, sit and think on that. Breathe a little bit.
What an amazing way for Rob to tell us. I've been thinking about drugs.
he was
subtle.
working to it.
Yeah.
You know, everything was really tough, and then I found codeine.
Get it for free at your pharmacy.
Good. That's good.
All right. Well, Dad, you probably already answered this, so maybe you can start. What is something you passionately despise?
Well, cliches are only the beginning of it.
Well, we don't have time, so
No,
maybe.
no. Passionately despise. What do I despise? I don't. I used to despise people who were too slow when they were driving. Used to despise people who'd cut, that kind of stuff. But I'm getting to the point now where it takes too much energy to despise somebody. To me, to despise anything really. Really, I don't. I mean, I'm getting kind of more of the go along to get along. It's a cliche.
Yeah. You're learning.
I'm learning. So I'm not a good. That's not a good answer. I apologize, but that's the
okay.
one I got.
All right. Well, it doesn't have to be a person or mine's a thing. ASMR.
Oh,
Hate it.
my.
Oh, I
Hey,
hate
is
it
that?
too.
Oh,
It's
should
like
we-
those
should we do
videos
that?
where yes,
Hey, buddy,
exactly.
You want to hear me eat something?
Brady, how are you doing today?
There you go.
Oh, there you go. I despise that.
There's
I
my
do.
fingers on a microphone. It's,
Yeah.
I'm with you
No,
Yeah.
on
thank you.
some of that.
My girlfriend loves it, and like I
What
have to
is
be
it? What'd you say?
careful.
What'd you call it?
ASMR, and I don't know what it
Audio
stands for.
sensory something.
MR.
Something.
MR.
Okay. ASMR. Okay.
But no, it's to the point where like if I give my girlfriend I can't give her cans of anything because she'll start clicking her fingernails against it like that.
Ugh.
It's awful, and she knows it bothers me, so she just dead eye contacts me while she does it.
that might be another discussion.
Yeah, well, I don't passionately despise her, so that's good.
I got it.
Just the concept.
Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response.
Ah, yes.
I hate that. I hate that too.
Yeah.
I hate all of it.
It's a tingling sensation that usually begins on the scalp,
Yeah.
moves down the back of the neck and your
I
upper
feel it.
spine.
You know those
Is that different?
You know those head
Oh,
massagers?
those things
Oh,
suck.
Those are great.
I love those.
They
Those
tickle.
are great.
What do you mean
I
they
hate them.
suck?
They suck. They tickle. Like they don't feel good. It
You're
just goes,
too bald.
I just go like that.
Oh wow, you're
too
bald.
bald.
In a non-offensive way.
I wish I could be balder. Because now I had to
No, I mean
I'd
you're
shave
like
it all the time.
in order to appreciate the head scratcher. I don't know.
I did
I
have
feel
hair
like
at
it
one
has-
point in time.
I know. I'm just gonna stop.
Are we back to a little pregnant again?
Yeah, modifying the absolute.
You're
Yeah.
not bald enough. That's a first.
Brandy, what's something you passionately despise?
That might be the new thing.
Baldness?
No, the whole like when you guys are talking about it makes me feel
Oh, ASMR.
heebie-jeebies.
Oh, it feels amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I
The
don't know.
tingler thing?
No, we're talking.
What?
Oh,
I don't
ASMR?
know. The
Oh.
whole scratching cans and I don't know. That's okay. I've made too many sound effects already in this podcast. What really riles me up, and Rob, I'm really appreciating your answer because I want to get to that point. So if you could just write a tutorial, that would be great.
Get way older and stop caring.
I don't know if I can articulate this, but just people who don't care about how their actions might devastate or impact others. Like if they just took a few seconds to just think through, like, what is the reasoning behind someone else's actions? Or what is the impact of what I am saying or what I am doing on how that may impact someone else? And I'm not saying like live your life like to please other people or to, to change other people or whatever. But like if you're doing something that truly harms or hurts someone else, especially like a family member or someone that loves you very deeply, like maybe give it some thought. Think about it. Like, give it a second and just think through your actions, even if it's hard, even if it's painful, even if it, like, do the hard thing. Go the extra mile to make it easier for that person, you know? Or at least not make it hurt so bad for that other person. Those are the things that really rile me up and make me really angry that I have a really hard time letting go of. So, yeah.
I mean, but then there's those cases where, like, you know, the person was in the school parking lot and had to pee. So they sped out quickly, you know? That was your own...
That was...
Thanks, Cam.
That was... Are you talking about my situation?
Yeah, your situation.
Okay,
You've
that
you've already exposed it once.
Go back and...
Hope, do you not remember this? Hope looks terrified.
I'm not...
Very
Okay,
confused.
no.
Maybe
and
for the viewers too.
We don't... I'm going to recap real quick so I don't sound like I was peeing in a school parking lot. Because that's the impression
I was throwing it. I wanted the correction.
That'll get you on a list. Sure.
I had a protein shake. It did not sit in my belly as it was supposed to. I was trying to race home and inadvertently didn't realize that the street I took was one way during a school time. And these ladies in minivans were like, at me. And I was just
They were yelling intifada? What was
The natives were restless that day. Yeah.
I was just trying to get home. So I literally did not have an accident in my car. So the moral of the story is you never know what is the intent behind someone's actions. They might almost be pooping themselves in the front seat of their vehicle. So,
Brady, didn't you do
thank
that?
you. I'm
No,
glad I
I peed
explained
myself
that.
in my car.
You peed yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, I did pee myself.
How did I get around to this when it was Brady's story?
My story much longer.
Brady's like, I peed in myself in my car. Next story.
Yeah, I peed myself in the car.
It's Tuesday. What
I'm
about
a
it?
grown ass man
Yeah.
peeing myself in a car.
Big whoop, do it all the time. It's just a regular day.
I missed you guys.
Cam,
Too
what's
many
something
months.
you despise passionately?
Passionately despise. So I might get some hate mail for this, and I hope I do because nobody ever sends me mail anyway. So
Yeah.
That's a cry for
I'll
help.
take,
Okay.
I'll take all the hate mail. So it's not necessarily the band The Cure. It's just Robert Smith's voice.
Oh.
It pisses me off. I don't know what it is. It's like, you know how, like, maybe this is just my way of explaining it, but there's like frequencies that just upset you.
Yeah.
And his voice lives in that frequency.
Yeah.
So I can't, I'm sure, like, if I tried to pay attention to the actual lyrics, I'm sure they're beautiful and they're wonderful. But him singing it is not the thing I can do.
He's the one that looks like Edward Scissorhands, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He looks like the director
Not
of
the
Edward
actual.
Scissorhands and Edward Scissorhands had a baby. Yeah.
Very good.
Tim Burton, that's his name.
That's that guy's name.
Prolific director. No big deal.
Stu, what do you got? What's something you
I got
passionately hate?
3, believe it or not. 3 right off the top of my head.
Hateful
Number
man.
1, horses. Obviously horses.
Horses,
Yeah,
you
you don't
hate
trust
horses.
horses.
yeah.
For sure.
This is a
immediately.
previous.
Never trust a horse.
Yeah,
He
horses
doesn't
are
trust
bad
horses.
people. Horses are bad
Season
people.
1, episode 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I got 4. I'll tell you
Gotta go back. All
Number
right.
2, and this is the only thing about Brianna, my wife, and I'm like, I physically cannot handle when you do this. And it's a natural, like, Brie gets
Get
hiccups.
her in the
she
shot.
gets hiccups a lot. And it's
hiccups.
completely fine. But she refuses to drink water to get rid of it. I swear, I stare at her, I'm like, drink water. And she's like, I am. I'm like, no, you're not. You don't have a cup. How are you drinking water without a cup?
You're like, drink water, and she's like
She won't-
doing this stand on her head thing. She's doing everything but drinking water.
Oh my
Trying to
God,
get rid of it. Like, just have water.
Yeah,
That's all you need to do.
For like 30 minutes, she will just hiccup. And I know there's nothing she can do about it besides drink water, and she refuses. And like, now I've got a little boy, and he hiccups like, oh, so cute. I'm not going to make you drink milk. But whenever he gets older, I swear to God. And the last thing that I am still...
Wait. Before we move on,
Tries to breeze over that.
what
one,
is
yeah.
what is it? Is it the hiccup that bothers you, or is it her defiance? to
Defiance of
submit-
drinking water. It's
the root issue.
See, here is the
thought there
quick
might be
fix.
something else.
I refuse to take the quick fix.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with hiccups.
No, nothing to do with hiccups whatsoever.
Fair enough. Okay.
It's just that constant reminder. You know, whenever someone has a smoke alarm in their house and it needs to replace a battery, and
Yeah.
they do not replace
beep.
the battery, same thing.
Oh.
Exact same thing. Did you just replace the battery? That's all you have to do. It's super easy. Why aren't you replacing the battery? Same thing. Last thing.
Were you like this before you were a father?
Same old, same old.
Because you're kind of
It's parental learned behavior, I think.
That's what I think it is. He's getting close to get off my lawn.
Sounds like there's phases. Like you grow into get off my lawn, and then you get like being inconsiderate in traffic, and then you just don't care.
You're like, whatever.
Going 40 on the interstate. Who cares?
All right, fair enough.
It lasted.
You had one more, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
How they murdered the newest rendition of the movie Cats. Hate it.
Oh my god!
I am still
talked about
upset
this before,
that.
haven't we?
Yeah.
We have
so
still upset about
bad.
it.
What are they
upset
doing
about
with
it.
that movie? Yeah.
I'll also
Yes.
second that in terms of like remaking all the movies that are ever existed. They just
Yeah.
remake them all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, cool.
No new ideas.
Right.
Like, stop making the cats sexy. They're cats. What are you doing?
Also,
so
they had to
weird.
go and re-edit out all the butts of the cats.
Oh yeah.
I think we talked about that
There were balloon knots in that movie, and they went back and edited out all the cat balloon knots.
We've talked about this before on the podcast. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm
There's
sure.
an edit where they had
I'm so disturbed right now.
they had some
I'm
butts.
getting close to learning how to despise something. And it ain't the movie Cats.
That's the point of this episode.
But yeah, those are my three.
Why are you so attached to cats in general? The musical.
They took my boy and they butchered him. They butchered my boy.
Killed my boy. Put James Corden in it.
Yeah.
You did not need to see James Corden CGI'd onto a cat's
No.
No.
I hope. What do you got? What do you passionately despise?
I feel like I might have had this conversation before on a previous episode, and we've all kind of referenced it a little bit, but I hate people who drive slow in traffic.
You have talked about this before.
It's just one of my biggest pet peeves. It really gets me because, like, I get it. Maybe you don't want to drive fast, but then get in the other lane. If you see somebody is behind you riding your tail, like, one, there's probably a reason why they're doing it. Like, nobody wants to really be riding your tail like that.
Wrong. There are people who just want to do that. They just want to get right to the next thing, get right to the next thing.
Okay, then you can get over, and if they do that, then
Absolutely.
that's their own thing.
Sure.
But get over. Like, they could be in a dire emergency about to poop their pants in the car.
See, it's
Like,
bad.
it's a real thing. Like, and people are just so selfish and unaware and just
Oblivious.
inconsiderate and
Yeah.
oblivious, and it makes me so upset because, like, I have been so close to being like late to important things and blah blah blah, and I'm somebody who really 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 cares about being on time to things. Like, it upsets me, and so it's just one of those things. If you get stuck behind a person and you can just tell they're doing it on purpose. I don't know why you would choose to inconvenience somebody else like that when you could just get out of the way. They move past you, everybody's day continues on in a happy world.
I tell you right now, that's me. When I'm getting ridden, like, oh yeah, cool. Where are you gonna go, bud?
What if somebody's about to have a
Mess
baby?
you up today.
What if somebody's about to have a baby and is
You shouldn't. I'm always going 5 over. So if you are going
Okay,
10
okay.
over,
If you're
then
going 5
that's
over,
your
that's
problem,
fine.
bro. I'm not going
If you're-
slow. I'm just. Oh, you want to be really fast? Guess what?
that's a
I'm
different
in the
story.
way.
That's a different
I'm a
story.
punk. Yeah.
I think it's people who will go the exact speed limit or like right under it.
How dare they?
You follow the law.
How dare they look at the word that says limit?
Yeah.
And then just adding really quick onto that, semi trucks who drive in the far left lane.
Oh my God, I'm glad you said
What are you
I
doing?
was going to say the exact same thing.
There are so many signs saying trucks only use the right 2 lane. Like, it just, what are you doing? Get out of this is not your lane. This is not your place. I saw a semi truck. I was driving back from Lincoln, and it was completely flipped around, like facing the other way on the interstate. It's like, that's what you get for being in the left lane, I'm sure. You did that to
I'm
yourself.
sure you didn't actually know the context.
No idea what the context
Ice or
was,
anything.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe he just really had to poop.
You didn't
You're
consider
right,
that,
you're
did
right,
you?
you're right.
That's why I
I
flipped this.
digress.
Yeah, I don't want a semi-driver doing the jiggle pants dance.
Oh my god, I could have gone my whole life without hearing you say that.
You're welcome.
Jiggle pants dance?
I think that's going to be my new thing.
No.
Just popped into my head. Sorry. It's
I don't
not a
think it ever
cliche.
left your
I like
head.
that.
Just popped in there.
Now it's out. I've shared it with the world.
Goodness.
Jiggle pants dance.
I can't in good faith go on to my next question following that up. So I'm gonna try
Just
to
a second.
pivot, yeah.
If you're listening to this podcast, your challenge is to share what you imagine as the jiggle pants dance and tag podcast.
There you go.
No, we don't need to be flagged.
Yes.
We don't need that.
Yeah, we do.
We're just trying
We
to
do.
build. We don't need to be
Keep it
kicked off of
PG.
every site.
Keep
Yeah,
it PG.
keep it PG. Right.
What title is it? All right.
Very good.
Do the jiggle pants dance.
No.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. So now I got at least something to beat mix.
Thank you.
And now we have a good TikTok audio for
Yeah.
when this goes out on that.
Jiggle pants dance.
Do the jiggle pants dance. Goodness. All right. I'm going to try to switch this up real quick because the next one's kind of sad and I can't follow that up. We'll get into it. What is something that you were passionate about as a kid that you don't care about anymore? Mine was baseball. I used to play baseball all the time. Hope's shaking her head. I used to go to a bunch of baseball tournaments. Pretty much played it almost year round, it seemed like. And then I'd go to sleep listening to Cubs games on 1620 AM radio, The Zone.
Oh.
And yeah, and then I got to high school.
Oh, you mean KOZN? I love that station.
Yeah, they changed it, didn't they? And then I got to high school, and I was like, I don't want to play with this anymore. so I just ditched it completely as a personality. It's crazy. So that's all I got.
Which radio station carries tennis all night?
That's a fascinating listen, by the way. I don't know if you've listened to tennis on the radio.
No,
The commentators do really good about shaking their head fast so you can track the ball with them.
You get the tennis channel?
I did.
Yeah?
I did.
You don't have
No, I don't.
They had so much tennis, they made a tennis channel 2.
T2.
Not messing around. There was so much tennis, they needed 2 channels for it.
Tennis
how
is
much?
everywhere.
How much of that is pickleball?
Shut up.
Ooh.
Oh, America's
Oh, here we go.
I think we caught a despise.
Oh.
I actually love pickleball, but I hate that it's taking over. Like tennis is such a cooler sport, but it's so much like pickleball's so much lazier that more people can play it.
Oh,
It is. It is. It's.
I've never
it's
played
tennis.
either. I'm just.
It's
We're gonna hear
tennis.
from Cam's haters and your haters.
Yeah.
now.
Send your hate mail.
So we're gonna get the Cure and
The Cure
pickleball
and
lovers.
pickleball, Yeah.
All right, at least we're
A small
diversifying our
demo,
audience.
yeah.
And the jiggle pants dance.
Oh, I don't want to know that audience. I don't. Okay, so that's me. Brady, let's go with you.
I think Hot Wheels was probably my biggest one, or just like cars in general. Like I was really into cars whenever I was little. So the big dump trucks toys, playing with Hot Wheels cars, and then whenever my dad would go to a car show, I'd be really excited to look at cars. And now I just could not give a hoot about any car besides my beautiful 2013 Honda Civic not breaking down. That's the only thing I care about.
Well, after you pee in a couple, they don't get excited.
Yeah, they're just not the same. Just not the same. But yeah, like I used to be like really into it and being thinking like maybe I'll be an engineer and I'll get really into cars and kind of really like that. And nope, haven't. Change a tire. I can replace all the small things and that's about it. Yeah, so I think Hot Wheels was.
Did you have all the tracks and stuff?
Yeah, I had a few tracks. I would always break them inevitably, and then Hot Wheels also turned into really good rockets too, so you could like throw them.
Yeah, they didn't make rockets. You turned them
No,
into
yeah,
Yeah, you strap a bottle
projectiles.
rock to it.
you know,
Yeah.
like Hot Wheels fights. So
Excuse me?
yeah, you get beat in a race and you throw a Hot Wheel at someone.
What? That's horrible.
Yeah, whenever your
Those things
car
aren't
wasn't
like
fast
soft.
enough. Well, no,
How
but their
far
cars-
away could you be from each other?
That depends upon how mad I was.
Like,
Usually, okay. To be fair, it wasn't much of a fight. I'm really glostering that. It was more me being mad and throwing stuff at people.
thank you for
Remind
being
me,
fair.
do you have a brother and sister?
No,
You
just two
said
sisters.
Wow.
Oh, I threw them at friends because I'm a good guy.
That's how you know you're friends.
Yeah.
Whip with the Hot Wheels.
You go through Hot Wheel wars together.
Yeah, it wasn't much wars.
Hot
It
Wars.
was more just not like I didn't like to lose. I still keep that one to me. I still don't
Yeah.
like to lose.
Samesies.
I think there's a commonality at the table.
Yeah.
It's fine. Brandy, what's something you were passionate about as a
I'm
kid?
gonna go with your baseball theme. The Atlanta Braves. I still like them, but when you stop doing that, Rob, you love
Jones.
so that's where it started when I was in junior high.
Wow.
Like it was borderline problematic. Like I worked what I did in my life around their TV schedule. I had a subscription to Chop Talk magazine. Like I had posters on my walls of baseball players. Like It was not a normal, like my girlfriends had subscriptions to like 17 in Vogue, and I did not because I was too busy following the Atlanta Braves. It was a problem.
Can I have a second question? It's a minor question. What would Chop Top magazine be about?
Chalk Talk.
It was their
Chalk.
like all their minor league
Besides the
news.
Braves. Besides the Braves. Chop Talk.
Chalk Talk?
Chop or
Cars?
Chop?
Yeah, cars.
Chop Talk.
Chop
Yes.
Talk.
Oh, Chop Talk.
Yes,
Chop.
like
Oh, I thought you said
Chop.
Chalk Talk.
That's what I thought.
Like it's about
politically
hopscotch.
incorrect.
Yeah.
So we got
Or
the Braves,
Kansas jams.
cars, food.
Yeah, because like a chop
Chop
whenever they
food.
take the
Yeah.
top off a car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chop
I'll
shop.
go with that one.
That's
yeah.
all I needed. Chop
Ooh,
Talk.
a food one. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, like
Chefs.
Chopped.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. That's all I had.
All about vegetables.
It's all just veggies.
But correct me if I'm wrong, Brandy. When you were an adult and in your professional career, did you not have a Chipper Jones bobblehead on your desk?
That's different. He is a Hall of Fame baseball player.
Oh, so it wasn't the Braves. It was, I'm a Chipper Jones stalker.
Now I would say that I am a normal baseball fan. I no longer don't hang out with friends because there's a baseball game on that I need to watch on
Okay.
TV.
Do you still have your Chipper Jones bobblehead?
I think it's in like a storage container with all of my other baseball cards, and
So you're not really
Thanks.
letting that go. You're holding on to it.
because they're going to be worth money someday. Someday.
Yes.
Good for you. Bless your heart.
You stop that. Like, tell him that's another cliche. You tell him to stop.
Bless your
saying that.
heart.
Yes.
He would say that to me. Where do you think I
Absolutely.
learned it?
Absolutely.
I feel like Chipper Jones and Freddie Freeman are the same person.
How dare you?
Okay. I was actually
see?
thinking you were going to jump on board with that.
Now you
but-
know.
Okay.
She hasn't let it go.
She passionately despises me now. Got it.
They might be.
Don't
They might
besmirch.
be very similar. Freddie Freeman will always still be a Brave in my heart. The Dodgers stole him. I don't want to even get into it because I'm not helping myself. in
I can see how you let this go.
department.
Yeah.
Stop it. Everyone has their thing. This. Grayson, what's your thing?
I already did my thing.
I was going because when I was a kid, I was big into baseball cards as well.
See?
I didn't collect them just because, hey, this may be good, some worth something someday. I collected them. I really liked the bubble gum.
Ah.
That was in the stick, and it would you'd get that one little stick of gum, and usually it would snap.
Hard.
Yeah, it would just snap off in your hands like a shard of glass.
Along with your tooth.
And you're like, I'm gonna chew it anyway, and then we would. I mean, some kids put the cards in their spokes of their bikes.
You had us do that. I believe.
Yeah, but we did when we would throw them at each other. Kind of like, but you throw a baseball card, you put it between your fingers, and you flick your wrist as hard as you can, and it will go for about 2.5 feet, and then it'll just flutter into a butterfly. You can try it at home if you want, but
So then you upgraded to like soda cans, right?
yeah, smash soda cans. That's what I did in high school. Yeah, in junior high and high
At
school.
least someone
Yeah,
got hurt.
I did. I still have a scar on my lip from when I took one in the face.
Nice.
So,
But anyway,
you hear that, kids? That's the form.
Have we said we don't condone violence yet? Do we need to say
You
that?
threw Hot Wheels at people.
Yeah.
We were
don't
anti-war
condone it.
earlier.
We don't condone violence.
Learned.
Cam,
Yeah.
as a kid, what were you into?
Oh,
that
you know,
don't
I
like
was
anymore?
definitely into comic books, having saving them for
Nice.
retirement for sure. Because someday I'm gonna cash it in. That comic book's gonna be worth it, right? But I think the thing I've gotten away from, like I still have the comic books. Actually, funny story. They're in a box it's like all the comic books in one big book, and they're in a box. And I'd put like all these old socks around them. Just in case the basement got wet, at least there's something to get to them before. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That thing is in the back of my closet. It's safe. It's protected. So someday I'm gonna get rich on that.
are you sure Carla just doesn't go find, hey, here's a box of old socks and throws it out?
It's very well marked. Like, don't mess with this box.
Is that what it
Serious
says?
box.
Is the mess the
It
word
says,
you use on it?
Cam's crap. Don't touch it. There's weird stuff in here. Just stay away.
I think you could have stopped at Cam stuff.
We would all know, yeah, it has weird stuff in it.
Right, and not to touch it.
Yeah, don't touch it. But the thing I've gotten away from, I think, as an adult or since I moved to the city, would be I used to like go and walk in nature, not necessarily on a path, but just like because I'm from a small town in Iowa and there's just wooded areas everywhere, so just messing around, grabbing sticks, doing a walking stick thing in the woods, messing around, just doing whatever. I think I haven't done that for a long time, and I think that's the thing that I really have gotten away from is just being in touch with nature outside of my camping that I do every summer. But that's my, I guess, the link to the past, I guess, at that point. But yeah.
Have you ever wandered out to Fontenelle Forest out there?
No, I got to drive out there, you know.
Wander.
Can't really
Just takes
walk
longer.
out there. Yeah.
Sure you can. I believe in you.
Anywhere is walking distance if you got the time.
Sure. Yeah.
True.
No, I'll take you.
Yeah.
We'll just mess around the woods out there.
Okay, that
be weird.
sounds creepy.
It is.
Two shall go in and one shall come back.
right.
You're a
I'm
little
bigger than
bigger,
you. I'm
but
bigger than you.
I know the woods better.
Hunger Games. It wasn't always the biggest.
Hope, what about you?
I mean, also, I also we would collect baseball cards. Why I was collecting baseball cards? No clue. I had no interest in the sport.
Did you like the
I
outfits?
got so many Mickey Mantle cards for some reason. I remember that. I had so many
do you
Mickey
still
Mantle
have
cards.
them?
Yes.
No, I do not.
Did they say rookie on them?
I'll take those off your hands for you.
I swear. I think I just liked doing it because we had like a binder with like the clear sleeves, and you could like, organize them. It was cool. I liked that part of it. And we would do the same thing for like Yu-Gi-Oh cards and like Pokemon cards. I have no idea what those games are about.
Pogs?
I never did.
Did you ever mess with Pogs? Was
Oh,
that
yeah, we did.
Beyond you?
I had heard of that, but that's not what my thing was going to be. I just had to. I don't know what I was
Should I
doing
get
there.
your baseball thing out?
Yeah, I
because
just
this is a
had to-
baseball podcast.
I
now.
swear I do know what sports are.
I got
can-
philosophy,
I can comment on
society,
those.
tennis, and now baseball. Those are actual
I was going to say though, songwriting. I used to be super. I had a band actually called Blue Peace with my neighbor. We were like maybe 8 years
Tabitha?
old. No, Selena.
Oh,
2 houses over.
Is it
Oh,
peace,
sorry.
P-E-A-C? Or
Yeah, like
P-E-I-C?
blue, like peace.
Yeah, okay.
Not the gun. Yeah.
8 years old. And she's back in.
don't mess with Papio.
She's back in heat. Yeah.
No, I did write a song about recycling though. It was like
my
reuse, recycle. That's
a
all you
banger.
really need. I can almost remember all of it.
If you don't recycle, then you're gonna get the blue piece.
Honestly, that's
could
gonna be
not
my
have been better.
remix of it. 2024 remix.
Do you remember that song we recorded for Mom and Dad for Christmas?
Oh my God, I forgot about it until you just brought it up.
I'm
but
hoping
yes,
it's burnt
indeed.
in a landfill
Was it the Jiggle
somewhere.
Pants dance?
I certainly hope not.
It is burnt.
Thank you.
that was-
Onto a
Onto a
CD.
CD. Shoot, and that CD's gone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things go away.
Until it appears on side B.
Things go
Yeah,
The
Rob,
intro song.
you can get me that if you'd like. That'd be fantastic.
Oh, I would never do that.
Oh yeah,
Goodness.
I don't know. I still enjoy music a lot, and there's times when I feel like I like writing. I just don't think I'm poetic enough to pursue songwriting seriously. But there's times when I feel like I say a phrase that sounds kind of poetic, and I'm like, that would be good in a song. I should write that down. Not that that's ever gonna, go anywhere, but I still enjoy music and all that jazz. I'm just not I'm not coming up with it myself, I suppose. Anyway.
I had one the other day. It was just like, if we just like let it be. And I thought that 3 words
Yeah.
so
somehow.
inspirational and iconic somehow.
I just don't have. I can't figure out a tune.
Oh, there'll be an answer. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah.
that
Okay, I get it.
is great.
There's nothing there. I got nothing.
I got nothing.
When I
you already
find
answer this?
myself in times of trouble,
Baseball cards.
Whisper words of wisdom.
I feel like
All right, we are one
members
more
of
line away from a
audience-
copyright.
Yeah.
That's like the one band you shouldn't do that to.
One more word away.
It was funny. There's like, yeah, we're quoting this, and then all of a sudden, it just when you said I got nothing, it's like, yeah. What if they ended the song that way? No, I got nothing.
Yeah, that's about it. How about you just let it be? All right, Cole, you good?
Yeah, that one. I got nothing. That'd be hilarious.
Okay, so what's something y'all are passionate about right now? I ask because I'm kind of struggling with that personally. Don't quite know.
I feel that.
I will go. I'm passionate about honesty. I'm really, and this actually kind of borders on. I was thinking this after I answered the despise question. I really despise hypocrisy anymore. I used to just kind of go along to get along. And this person's being hypocritical, and I get it. I know what game you're playing and where you're trying to go. But now, for some reason, it's starting to rub my irritation bone. I'm just like, this kind of bothers me. But I'm not saying anything because I really still believe that, okay, you're doing you, but if I could send out into the space and the cosmos that, like, I wish you would be a better person, and I wish they would get that. I just wish, I'm really into honesty. It's like, okay, ask me a question. I'm going to give you the honest truth. You know, I may not be like super blunt and make someone go crying away, but just tell the truth. If we were all just more truthful and less game playing, I think, you know, it would be it would be a simpler world to figure out, because you'd know where everybody is going, you know. And I guess maybe this goes to energy. I'm tired of trying to figure people out, right? Everything comes down to energy after a while. You're like, do I want to expend my energy on that? But honesty is what I'm really into. Honestly. Yeah.
You say.
So, question then, and I feel like maybe this was asked once upon a time, but is there ever a good time to lie?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if someone's on their deathbed, you know, you think I'm going to make it? Yeah, I think you have a chance. Nope, you're going to be dead soon. You know, and so they take that into the afterworld.
Get your affairs
it's
in order.
No, it's like, I mean, there are other times too, and lie. You know, there are so many different shades. I think of lying, from the little fib to, you know, the grandma's like, no, I love you. You know, there's all kinds of those. So yeah, I think there are. I think there's some times.
And I would like, and I've mentioned this in podcasts before. Your dad was brilliant, and like I remember being a very young reporter, and I'm sure my work sucked sometimes. But instead of being like, Brandi, this really sucks, this should never see the light of day, he had a brilliant way of being honest, but also kind of lying. Maybe like, have you thought about it this way? Like maybe look at it. I'm just wondering. Like, have you thought about it? Like instead of probably leaning more towards the honest part of the spectrum, maybe going a little more towards this part of it, but that made me look at it from a different point of view without totally crushing me as a 25-year-old, completely brand new reporter, to help lift me up and help me learn better. So you've always been very good at
I
that.
appreciate that. But
Was he a critic? Sorry.
I was asking if she wanted. So now I'm going back to the other side, though, where Brandi, that really sucked.
It did.
I'm going back to that.
It was awful.
Thank you for saying that.
Car fixer place. Just remember that.
Car fixer place.
Like I don't mind the like, hey, that sucked, but here's why. If it's that sucked and nothing else, it's like, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not spending the effort on you, but that sucked.
True.
But here's why.
True.
Really does come in saying this is exactly how you're going to get better and moving those things. So like I can take it. I like the more like a less harsh way to go about
Teaching.
saying
I think
that sucked, but
there's so many. My kids got so tired of being. Is this a teaching moment? Is this a teaching moment? Like, not everything's a teaching moment, but yeah, in the career world, I'm like, that's how I was. It's like, if I can make you better, it makes us all better, right? Raise all the boats rise in the harbor at the same time, you know.
Yeah.
So
Were you a criticism sandwich kind of guy? Something we were taught when we were coaching.
Love a criticism sandwich. But
for the
you put the
listeners,
good in the middle, and then you do bad things on the outside as the bread.
or the other way around.
No, that's what I'm saying. Reverse. It's like, you suck, but you got some great eyes on you for an idiot.
That would be funny.
Criticism sandwich.
That's better.
I need to find a way to use that sentence.
A lot of things are making sense now, Cam.
It's the world I live in.
No, not really. I don't think so. Because I never gave him the bad. I mean, it was like, you know, that was kind of, but let's go. Why don't you think that? And then I would prefer to leave somebody with just hanging, right? So they're like, oh, and then automatically they have to begin thinking. You know, if I wrap everything up and put a bow on it and give it to you, that's no. I mean, it's nice, but if you partially wrap something up and you cover, you're like, oh, now what do I? You know, go find the rest of your present. That it makes it. You get them more invested in it. It's probably not the best analogy, but it's like if you force them to think, then they will. Oh, I thought of that on my own, and then it sticks.
Yeah, when it's your idea, it's the best idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so if I tell you it's your idea, then it's no good idea.
I really do like how Rob gave me half of a puzzle for a present. He told me I have to go find the other half. I'm ecstatic.
We did this to Taylor, my oldest daughter, for Christmas one year. She used to play the bassoon. She didn't march with it, but she played the bassoon. And so actually she had an old bassoon at the house she was able to keep from school legally. They were getting rid of it. And so we took the bassoon and we figured out how to make a lamp out of it.
Oh, cool.
And so,
man.
so then we got all the pieces that it would take to make said lamp, and we put them in a box, and we just gave her the box of parts at Christmas. Merry Christmas. Figure it out.
Some assembly required.
Yeah, all assembly required. So. And she did it. It's great.
That's awesome.
You do that so much though that to the point where like this year for Christmas I got a fire blanket. And I was really trying to
we all got fire blankets.
Everybody got fire
what?
blankets.
I was like, this has to mean something. This has to mean something, right? Like
Dad's on Facebook too much.
I'm just so like I'm so used to like an obscure item, of course alluding to something else, but I wasn't home for Christmas and I had opened my presents like way further after Christmas and I just see a fire blanket and I'm like, how do I like bring this up without sounding ungrateful? Because it's not that I'm ungrateful, but I need to know
So you saved it
what's
for the
going on with
podcast?
the fire blanket. No, I did
publicly,
text
yeah.
them. I was like, thank you so much for the presents. I really appreciate it. Just curious though, what's going on?
When I opened it, I was like, what's this mean?
Right?
He's
Like, it feels like there
you
should be a
need one
deeper
if there's a
meaning
fire.
Your great great grandfather
sometimes-
Roberto spontaneously combusted around your age.
So did you guys think about it? Did you think about what it could mean and everything?
I really was like, maybe they're planning some like crazy, I don't know, like vacation where there's like a fire involved and
going
we
to
are going to need to bring our, like, I don't know, like I was just trying to come up with something, but then it really was like the one time in my entire life where it was really just a fire blanket for the sake of having a fire blanket.
But you thought about it, right?
Unfortunately.
Mission accomplished.
Whenever I was a kid, I got a suitcase that had a sign that said "We're going to Disney World" inside of it, and we never went to Disney World. So I'll take yours. That says
take the fire
maybe we're
blanket.
going on vacation instead of the we're definitely going and not going.
Wait, there's still
Free
a chance.
suitcase.
There's still my younger sister, who is not alive at that point, went to Disney World while I didn't.
Don't even talk to me about people going to Disney World.
I
I'm
think
just
you
saying.
talk to me
I
about
think it's
it.
great
We
that-
can't tell the story.
All of my family has been to Disney World, and I have technically been to Disney World, but I was not
Born.
born yet.
I've never been there.
Yeah, Gray's never
They
been
didn't
yet.
take me. I
Didn't you
was
just go to
born. They didn't
Disney?
take me. I went to Disneyland. Hope.
Same thing.
That was the soundtrack for the Jiggy Pants dance.
I had a moment like that. I was at a Bryan Adams concert before I was born. So 30 years later, I went to a damn Bryan Adams concert.
Did it cut like a knife?
It cut like a knife. Yeah. It felt good though.
We got a lot of these.
We're not bitter.
Was that the summer of '69?
No, it was actually
Another song.
14,
Sorry.
Yeah.
15.
That was just
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
we tried too hard.
Did all my Bryan Adams songs.
All two of them. They're out of there.
Both of them.
I was trying to work in everything you do. I do it for you, but that doesn't make sense.
Oh, Robin Hood. Nice.
Robin
yeah.
Hood.
Yeah.
Not the one with tights.
You know that? I think that was his only number one. Oh, this is so terrible.
Here we go.
I think that was the only song that went to number one for him.
Really?
Yeah, because I think it was probably because of the movie.
I didn't know that
Next
we
question.
had so much Bryan Adams knowledge.
This is only the first
very
answer of one question.
He's Canadian. That's all I got.
There you go.
Brady, what's something you're passionate about right now?
Oh shit, that was a question.
That was the first answer.
Bryan Adams, you're great.
Felt like I answered this already at one point, but I
It's
don't
not
think I
Hot
did.
Wheels anymore.
No.
Something you've been nerding
Yes,
on.
okay. So I'm actually really passionate about my health currently, but more importantly, I got a new Garmin watch that tracks your sleep. So watching my sleep schedule, whenever you wake up with the little guy during the night, you could actually see how long you're awake for, and then how long it takes you to go back to sleep, and you can track how much you've been running and how much you've been exercising. So I've been really, really getting into watching myself and seeing how much I've been exercising.
Cool.
But more importantly, how terrible my sleep quality has been. That has been my favorite because it's been the morning whenever you would wake up, and Bree and I, whenever we're watching the little guy, it's I'll do a shift, she'll do a shift. I'll do a shift, she'll do a shift. And then in the morning, whenever she is like, man, I just didn't sleep last night, and I can just look at it and be like, 4 hours, neither did I, and to be high five. It's very fun. You get like
healthy, man.
Not sure that's what the watch was for.
But it's like having your receipts, because I'll wake up in the morning and Bree will be like, "How late were you up last night?" And I'll be like, I was up for 7 hours.
Has it ever gotten a little ugly? Be honest. Has there ever been like, oh, I didn't sleep last night? And you'd be like, liar. 5 hours.
Wow.
There's been mutual discontention between both of us. It's been very small and very light, and it's only points where, like, you're very tired. There's been like 2 or 3 times. I think my favorite moment of the entire time with the little boy is one morning we wake up and we talk about how did it go, and Bree's like, I just couldn't get him to sleep. I couldn't get him to eat. He wouldn't do anything, and he would just be fussy. And I just picked him up and I said, listen here, little fucker, you're gonna take a
Nice.
And from now on, I think it's okay to call your baby a little fucker every now and again. Every now and again.
And you're worried he's going to be messed up.
I think he's hoping he's going to be messed up.
Like, whenever you're in the hospital, they always make you, like, by Nebraska law, they make you watch some health and, like, safety videos to make sure when you go
Nebraska
home,
law.
your kid doesn't
Stupid
die.
law.
And then, like, there is a, I promise, I love my kid nothing, like, more than anything else. Sounds like I absolutely
Who are you
love
trying
this.
to convince?
I love my kid. I love my kid. I love
swear
my
I
kid.
do.
But there's a video of, like, you can't, like, shaken baby syndrome, and it's a serious, very like, do not shake a baby. But there was an actor. There was one actor they showed that was very funny because he not only shook the fake baby, he yelled at it. And at the time you're watching the video, you're like, that would never. And then 3 a.m. rolls around, you're like, that guy had a point. I can see why you're not supposed to do this.
Yeah.
And now Bree will never sleep.
No, I love my baby. I'm never going to do that.
I know,
I'm
I
going to
know,
call
I
him a
know.
little fucker, but that's about it. It's like, that's the only thing. That's as far as anything goes. That's just...
At least you have boundaries.
Yeah, and like we know, like if things get too much, you set the little baby down for like 15 minutes. You
For
let
sure.
him cry. You can let him cry.
Yep,
It's like,
absolutely.
they're a lot more resilient than you think. Not real resilient. You can't shake them, but you can still.
Quick question: Can you just put your watch down and it'll think you're sleeping?
No, it's got a heartbeat sensor.
Oh, it's got a heartbeat sensor.
And if you go dead,
I thought I found a way out.
Also, I think it's a new record. Only an hour in, and we broke the fuck barrier. Thank
yeah,
you, sir.
yeah, that's
Elliot would be so proud.
Yeah.
Brandy, what's something you're
been an
passionate
hour
about right now? Yeah, we're an hour in.
Yeah.
To piggyback on that, and for any new parents out there, if you haven't gotten the book, Go the Fuck to Sleep,
yes.
Samuel Jackson.
listen to Samuel L. Jackson doing it on YouTube. Anytime you need it, just listen to it over and over again. It's the best thing ever. Anyway, balance. I've had some health challenges over the last year. Started getting vestibular migraines, which if you have migraines, it sucks. Vestibular migraines are like your entire body is affected. It's just awful. And it's really made me reevaluate kind of everything. And, my entire adult life, I feel like I've really given absolutely everything I have to my careers. That's just the way I was brought up, my work ethic, and you work hard, and if you want something, you go after it. And I think that's fantastic, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But I'm kind of reevaluating, like, yes, when I am at my job, I am going to be, my goal is to be a great teammate and to give my absolute all and to do the best I can for my company and my job. But I also want to make sure I am the best wife and the best mom and the best version of myself I can be. And so just finding that balance. And that doesn't necessarily mean I have to be X number of pounds or I have to accomplish all the things or do all the things for all the people who ask me to do the things, but it's just being happy. And whether that means going home and playing Legos or not doing anything that day because I'm just not feeling it or whatever, just finding that balance. And so trying to do better on just accepting that, you know what? It's okay if today I just want to go home and binge watch documentaries or read Percy Jackson with my kid, or I'm going to come and do a podcast with my awesome people on question marks and just enjoy life. And I don't have to just devote and give 4,000% into X, Y, or Z at all times. So just balance.
Called
That's
that
my goal.
balance. We had this when I worked in Texas. They said you had to empty the tank at work every day. Like if you had a gas tank that was your soul or personality, you'd empty it every day. And I hate that.
Yeah.
It's like you got to maybe 70%,
Yeah.
save 30% for the people at home that need that.
Yeah.
I don't know. So kind
You
of
got a yin when you yang.
Yeah.
There we go. Cliche. You got one?
I like it. I'm all for that one. Yeah. And when you were talking, Brandon, it made me wonder. It's like, to me, it's a judging thing. I mean, you judge yourself very harshly, no question. I mean, you have set a high standard for yourself, and I think a lot of people who don't do that may feel like they're being judged by the other people in the neighborhood or their parents or their kids, or so they're trying to reach a certain level of activity or output that they feel they have to quiet the judges. I don't know if that's you or not. I mean, I think you need to quiet your own judge. It sounds like what you're doing is like, I'm going to give myself some grace, right? I'm just going to, if I don't do that, that's fine. Like you said, I just need to fill the tank with whatever it is, and so kind of give the judge the day off kind of thing.
I think that's totally right. And like, great example, next weekend, my husband is coaching the Gretna East baseball team this year. Go Griffins. Woo. And they have their big fundraising night, trivia night next weekend. And they asked me to MC it. And I would have been happy to help. And Brian and I talked about it. And he's like, I just want you to be a wife. I just want you to be there and be my wife and be on our team and just enjoy it. And I want to do that. I want to go there and, let's be honest, I want to win trivia night.
Yeah.
So I said, thanks, but I just want to be a wife and go and have a great time. And it was, my friend Jenny, she said, my new mantra I'm trying to live by is, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. And I'm trying to really embrace that. Like, if I'm not asked to do something and I'm like, hell yes, then thank you so much for thinking of me, but at this time, no. So, like this spring, I'm just looking forward every day to going home and planting flowers and walking the dogs. And it may not be emceeing an event with 500 celebrities, and it may not be walking at Omaha Fashion Week, but guess what? Like, that's okay. It's just as enjoyable to like feel the sun on your shoulders and pet your dogs and do all the other things, like just to take a step back and breathe. And so, thank you. That's what I'm trying to find, is give myself some grace and just breathe and find that balance.
I love the honesty, because that's the honesty, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be true to who you really are.
Yeah.
And everybody will be happier.
And that's what I keep trying to tell myself is, I have to remind myself I don't owe anybody a thing, because I feel like I do sometimes. Like, they have asked me, what an honor. Yes, I should do that. And trying to remind myself, like, I appreciate that, but I don't owe anybody anything, So, except my kids. Nice. I owe them to be a good mom, and so.
Cam, you got something you're passionate about right now?
I guess.
I get it. I got it.
Yeah. No, it's. I think. I guess, in a word, leadership is something I'm trying to do, because I've never been like a managerial type situation. I'm always kind of underneath, or maybe maturity might be another word in there. Which is weird. I'm just a
Not
child.
on this podcast.
I'm just a small child. No, but like I got a team of producers and stuff that I work with directly on a daily basis, and like they always have questions. And I'm almost 40, so I'm getting to be that point of life where it's like, oh shit, I'm like an elder now, which is fun to realize.
Man.
Fun to realize. I'm not saying I didn't say I was old. I'm just an elder. I'm older than people that I work with. So now I'm like, kind of figuring that out, which is weird, but it's fun. I'm enjoying it, but I always got some guys coming to me with questions and like trying to figure stuff out. And like, all right, well, if I haven't experienced it, we'll figure it out together. But at this point in the career, I've kind of experienced a lot of it. So yeah, it's been a fun little journey, and it's pretty short so far. So there's a whole road ahead, but looking forward to that.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I told these guys, like, in prepping for when we start a new season, I always go back and listen to our past seasons, because our podcast is pretty awesome if you haven't listened to the past seasons. But Cam, you do have a gift, man. Like, you have
thanks.
You were meant to be on radio, on air in some capacity. Like, just your timing, your humor, your creativity. So that's awesome that you're willing to step it up and share that with other people.
Yeah. No, I like the. I guess people being dependable, depending on me for some things, which is always feels good. Being responsible for some shit is always good. So.
Fair enough. Hope you got a passion here? Anything right now?
I mean, yeah, I'm a pretty passionate person. But right now, I would say, kind of going along the same lines like Brandi's, I would say, is finding my way back to myself. I've feel like I've gotten a little bit out of touch with a lot of my passions. Like I am a very creative individual. I have been my whole life, whether it be through different like arts and crafts or music or like theater or whatever, or like cocktail making. And I don't know, this last year, I just haven't spent as much time delving into myself and like filling my own cup, I feel like, as I should have. And I've not lost the passions by any means. I'm realizing the importance of keeping that creative outlet open, and always like having it rather than ignoring it or just like having like getting too in a mundane routine or something like that where I don't know, start living a life that's not fulfilling to me. So just trying to like, I'm currently in a weird spot of transition in my life, and I feel like it's the perfect time to like hone in on the things that are important for me and like, I don't know, the routines I want to get into and the creative outlets that I want to like continuously pursue and stuff like that. So I'm just passionate about figuring that out for myself because I don't know, I'm 24, about to turn 25. I feel like my entire career life up to this point, I've had this like feeling like, oh my gosh, I need to be doing everything 100% of the time. Like I need to be everywhere for everybody else, like not taking any time for myself. And I think that is important in a career growth aspect and stuff like that. But I'm also coming to an understanding that life is so much more than just your career. And I hate that that's been drilled into society and stuff like that, that you just have to 100% be focused on making money and growing yourself in a career that, like, I'm so young right now. Who knows if I'm going to be wanting to do the same exact thing in 20 years or something like that. And I think that I wish more people were okay with the flexibility and fluidity of life like that. And I just don't ever want to pigeonhole myself or like put myself into one spot and get into that same mundane routine where I'm not living a life I'm fulfilled with. So
Can that come at the expense of maybe committing to something that you actually are passionate about, though? That fear of being pigeonholed into one spot?
I mean, yeah. What do you mean by that? Like,
so you're worried about being like defined by one thing, which makes sense, or you're worried about, always having to do the same job or something like that. But do you think that would ever hold you back from, grinding for something that you actually are passionate about? Because sometimes it will be like a mundane routine grind.
yeah, and it like time. Not everything comes like immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think theoretically, do you think that's something that could hold you back, though?
I think it could, and I think my impatience with, I don't know, things can definitely have a negative effect on
Thanks for not using names. Yeah.
Fair enough.
But no, I definitely think it could definitely be a little bit of a detrimental thing, just if there is something that I'm like, dang, I really want to pursue this, and like I actually am really going to be passionate about it, but then I don't give myself enough time to understand that, yeah, it might not be great right at the beginning, but eventually it's gonna like when you're starting out on a completely new career field and you have to like have one of those entry level jobs. So it's like, yeah, you don't like this job right now, but of course you're not going to be in that same position for the rest of your career, hopefully.
You'd hope not, yeah.
But I'm so impatient, and I feel like, I don't know, I've found myself like growing and succeeding relatively quickly, and I don't think that that's going to happen in every situation I find myself in. So I don't know. I definitely see it.
I think you're right that
Yeah.
you should be, in tune with yourself and, not put yourself into a pigeonhole you don't want to be in. But
Yeah.
I do the same thing where I'm worried that maybe I'll decommit from something too early because I don't see the the light at the end of the tunnel a little bit. So
There is a line of thinking, though, in psychology, though, that if you have a passion and you're like, there's a saying that says, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, right?
True.
cliche.
Exactly. So if you take that cliche and you say, okay, I found a passion, whatever it is, and I got a job in this passion, and you start working at it, and you're like, this is great, I'm doing my passion. But then you find out that you have to work too hard at it. All of a sudden, then you've burnt that passion. You lose that passion. And so the thought process is counterculture to, if you love what you do, is like, baby, don't go work in your passion.
Yeah.
If you think you're going to have to work at it, if you're going to have to go through those spells where there's lulls and you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, because you may end up lopping off your passion and never having it again and then regretting it later on.
Yeah.
Isn't it better to chase it, though?
Make
and then
your
find
passion
out?
a hobby.
That's the thing. That's to keep the passion on the side, kind of like your side hustle thing.
yeah.
Never make it what you have to make a living from.
But
your
but
livelihood.
in today's society,
Yes.
you have to spend a majority of your time making money, like doing the thing that is going to be making you money. So if you don't
Right.
go into the thing that
But
you're
not-
passionate about, then it's that much harder to, and also like make time for friends, family, like other things. It's that much harder to then pursue and put the energy you want to into your passion.
Right.
I don't know. I
No, I
feel
know-
like
I know
it's a
exactly what you're saying.
catch-22.
My wife-
Dance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dance.
triple-edged
Yeah.
sword, pretty much. Yeah, you gotta balance everything at
Yeah.
one time, and it's just super
Yep.
difficult to do.
Triple-edged
Yeah.
sword.
Triple-edged sword
Looks cool.
It's a triangle.
Yeah, I never. It's something that I've kind of picked up on. That is like it's really difficult. I've always kind of wondered how it feels to figure out whenever you're trying to grow and make yourself like love and work on your passion, but not feel like you become stagnant. That I think that's probably the point of where you don't like it anymore, because everything that you would do one day that you think you're getting better and better and growing skills and becoming a better person of what you want to be or whatever you want to do in a certain mindset, that's culmination. That is making yourself better. But in the exact same path, if you don't like what you're doing, if that moment changes where like, I'm getting tired of this, and all the exact same thing, which I think if you have a mentality that says I'm going to be doing this one thing I really enjoy, whenever that changes towards maybe I don't like this that much, that exact same pattern of habits that you've been doing can easily switch to stagnation, which is like, oh, I'm going down a path that I don't want to be. Kind of like the same way that you've got two railroad tracks and all of a sudden one diverts slightly. Even though you're going the same direction, you're not on the right track, you feel. And I've been feeling that way a lot as well, especially with studying for the patent bar and getting all the bar studying and stuff. Like you're in this interim of just a lull, and you can't do anything until you get past this one bar, literal figure bar, and it feels like I don't know. Like I know I'm going the right direction. I just don't know if I'm on the right track. But like the good thing is I know I'm moving forward.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of where, like, that's how I feel like I'm sitting, where
That's
I
a
know
great
I'm not
analogy.
exactly going on the right place, but at least I know I'm going the right
And
direction.
you're not going the wrong. Yeah, you're not
I'm
going
not going. I'm
backwards.
not going the wrong direction.
And I
Even
think-
like, oh,
There's lots of different tracks too in
Yeah.
life. Like you don't have to stay on the same exact track for
Yep.
the rest of your life. You know, like you could be
Yes.
going in the same direction as a bunch of different tracks, and you're absolutely right. Like you're heading in the right direction. You have that feeling like I know I'm doing the right thing, but maybe it's not. Something will change, and it's like, oh, momentarily it could feel like you're going off track or
Yeah.
something like that. But in the end, it still straightens out to be same direction,
Yeah.
just different. I don't know, path that you would have. I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's
Life
just-
can be so unexpectable and all that.
yeah,
fun
because
stuff.
it sounds like you're ever going backwards. It just feels like you're hopping tracks.
Yeah.
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 I want that as a bumper sticker.
Unexpected.
Life can be so unexpectable.
I kind of like it. Like I was like, what? And I was like, you know what? I want it.
Rob's
Create
eyes
the
dart
word.
around.
I tend to do that
Like,
a lot.
y'all heard that, right? Okay,
You
cool.
say the word confidently enough and just don't say it like you're questioning yourself.
There you go. That's life.
New
I love
description
it.
for the show anyway, and I think
Yeah.
it's just going to be that word.
Unexpected.
Unexpectable.
Unexpected. Love it.
We all popped up like like meerkats.
Goodness. All right. Well, last question then. Where does passion come from?
Okay, welcome to side B of this. I want to ask, earlier on we were talking about the little thing that tingles the back of your head,
Head
right?
scratcher.
Head scratcher. It was ASMR or something like that, or
Asthma.
asthma. Yeah. So, what other sensation do you love? And let's keep this relatively.
There's a baby in the room.
There's a baby in the room.
So you ever discover a new song and then like it just scratches your brain the right way, and so you listen to it for like hours
Yeah.
and you repeat it until it's ruined? Mm-hmm. I have not ruined my most recent song. It's "Find Your Grail" from the Spamalot musical.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Nice.
I played it. I found it. Well, because my girlfriend and I went to Spamalot by Ralston Community Theater, put one on here, and then I was like randomly re-listening to it one day, and I put it on, and like I got up earlier and was working from home and stuff, and she was gonna work from home. I put it on and I was listening to it for probably a solid hour before she came out. And she goes, "Oh, you like the song?" I was like, "Yeah, I've been listening to it quite a bit." So she's like, "Cool." She listened to it with me, and then I played it for an hour and a half after that straight. And she goes, "Is this all we're gonna listen to?" But yeah, so that's a good sensation for
Nice.
me. Is that brain
That's
scratch.
beautiful. I love when that happens. It happens and you're in it for a while.
Yep, you can't leave it.
Brady, what's yours?
Man. I really like that one as well, because my song, by the way, I have to throw it in here, is Mr. Roboto by Styx.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, small synopsis of the song so everyone knows. He says, "I have a secret. I have a secret."
Please tell us what that song's about.
Yeah, he goes, I have a secret, and he says, "Hey, let me hide with you, but I have a secret." And then at one point he says, "Thank you, Mr. Roboto," which is Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto. And then at the end there's this twist because he says, "I'm Kilroy." And it doesn't explain what Kilroy is, but I like it. Yeah, he says, "My name is Kilroy." And it's a very cool song. The song rocks.
Speaks to you.
So the question was, any other sensation?
Oh yeah.
He loves
was already a
robots.
soft answer.
I think, that first feeling of a sip of water after you've been dehydrated for a really long time. Whenever water kind of tastes sweet on your tongue because your body's saying get more water in you because you're so dehydrated, that is by far one of my favorite.
Or if, it's also good if you need to get rid of hiccups.
I've heard. I've heard. Someone that's not present in the room hasn't, but I've heard.
Because she's taking care of your child. So
She's on shift.
It's not here.
She's on shift.
She's not here.
I'm gonna watch it again.
It's going to be clipped. Not
Hope you
going
going. What's a good sensation?
Yeah, mine's kind of similar to Grayson's, except mine's when I'm listening to an album for the first time, and it goes from one song to the next, and it like perfectly transitions into the next song. Like you can't tell when the next song starts because it loops so well, or not loops, but
Yeah.
you know that. I don't know, when artists put that level of detail into their albums, and it feels like a story is being told. It feels like, I don't know, it really gives me the tingles in such a cool way.
How are you not a child of the 60s? I mean, that's album rock. That's exactly what that is.
I'm an old soul. I've been told it many times.
Can we talk about what a tingle looks like physically? It leads to your jiggle pants dance.
I will be waiting for that. The jiggle, what's it called?
Jiggle pants dance.
It's called the jiggle bites. I'm like, no, it's not right.
Wow.
Okay, yeah.
Took a turn.
Brandi, do you?
Yeah, I do. So for mine is singing on stage or in karaoke or whatever, when you just have that perfect song or that perfect note and you just feel it, and if you get crowd reaction, or even if you don't, if nobody's there watching you and it's just you, but you just feel it. It's like head to toe. And I imagine it's the same for if you're playing a sport or if you're doing your thing or whatever it is, but it's just that perfect moment.
The zone.
It's like the
I did
zone,
that.
just that moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Own
awesome.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cam, do you have one that's not music related?
Yeah.
Drinking water.
Drinking water. Yeah.
Drinking water.
Sorry, but you went off on music for a while.
Okay, to be fair, Mr. Roboto's a great song.
It's pretty good.
I'm Kilroy.
You know, Crystal Ball's a pretty good Stick song too, by the way. Check that out.
Yeah. Wanted Man's still my favorite.
Oh, okay. My thing, I guess, would be when you learn something that just kind of opens a door in your brain and you just get something else. Like you just, I understand that now. I get it. You know, it might not be like the thing you learn, but just like it just trickles down through all these things that you're like, oh shit, I didn't even realize that's how that worked. Whoa.
It's like a light bulb
It's like a
thing?
light bulb just
Okay.
went off and you're like, man, I get so many more things now. Like I just leveled up.
Yeah.
Experience points gained. I'm rocking and rolling. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
Dad, what about you?
Actually, mine is silly. I love those moments, and I cherish those moments where the person you're with, for me, it'd be my wife, laughs with you as much as you do.
That's a good one.
Either a joke or whatever, or moment, or could just stay. You are on the same level of enjoyment of whatever it is, and usually, and humor to me is one of the best things because you're just laughing, you're smiling. It's like, oh my god, I wish this moment would last for absolutely ever. So
Would laugh forever.
would
That's
laugh
what you're
forever.
about to say.
That's true. And standing on a golf course early in the morning is really cool too.
That is really cool.
Yeah,
So foggy.
You know, you know.
it is. That's the best part. Yeah,
Not if you're mending it, though. Let's be honest.
true. Cam,
Yo.
you said that you got away from doing walks in nature.
Yeah.
Is there something, and this is for the entire group, this part, is there something
Sound like
that
it was
you-
pretty directed at me.
It was. It begins with you. For this moment, we're all going to be Cam. No, just kidding. Is there something that you would like to get back to that you've gotten away from in your adult life? I mean, Hope has talked about the pressures of life on side A and how tough it is. We all have to make sacrifices. But are there things to get back to? Is there anything besides the walk?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I mean, No.
Hell
not,
yeah.
not to say that I'm like completely fulfilled in life.
Perfect.
But it sounds like
I said that in season 1, and I got lambasted. You're like, oh man, I wish I had the perfect life. And blah, blah, blah.
right. No, I mean, I think it's again working on that balance. The tri-blade, whatever the hell what I say.
Triglycerides.
It's a triple-edged sword.
Triple-edged sword. That's that triple-edged sword of life. That thing that I made up earlier. I think it's just trying to balance that out is the main thing, because you got to have work, you got to have relationships, you got to have friendship, like that.
So, but the one thing
situation.
but getting back to something would
Getting
be that
back
walk.
to it. But, yeah, it would be. I like walking in nature.
Same.
It doesn't even have to be nature. I mean, just walking around my neighborhood would be a thing I should do instead of sitting on the couch scrolling endlessly through whatever social media site I'm on. Probably be like, hey, let's go for a walk. Would probably be a good idea just to do. But yeah.
Brandi, how about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to just singing. I remember as a kid, Redwood Lane in Papillion, used to just sit on my swing set with my old school Sony Walkman and just sing at the top of my lungs. I'm sure my neighbors enjoyed that. But
I
as
did that too in the car.
right?
My mom was upset.
I didn't know they could hear me.
I know.
Yeah. Me neither.
I'm in my own
Looking
little box
back,
here.
I'm like, if I heard that kid anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even like as I hope probably you're about your age now, my first house, like we used to just sing karaoke in my basement, like me and my roommates, just for no other reason other than we just loved singing. And it was awesome, just because we just loved it. I want to go back to that, like just for no other reason, doing it just because you love doing it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love that.
Mine is something that's coming around recently, was hanging out with neighbors. It was something I like. In Elma, you knew everyone that was around you, so you're always hanging out. Yeah, Bob, he
likes neighbors, man.
He likes Dad, I don't want neighbors. But that's the big one. Is I've actually we've got into our place, and we're actually talking to people around us and making friends with our neighbors and hanging out. Like if they've got kids, so they're giving us a bunch of help. We've got neighbors next to us that are like superstars. That whenever Bree went into labor, literally they were over taking care of our dog that night.
Nice.
Right.
And just super incredible people. And then we're getting more and more people in our neighborhood and having a community kind of form around, and actually getting a community where I live currently in a place I'm not really familiar with until now is really something I'm trying to get back to get that sense of community. So that's what I've
Nice.
got.
Good. Cool. Hope.
Dancing. I have never been the best dancer by any means, but I was always
But I
the
love
kid.
to do it. Yeah.
But I love to do it. It feels great. I was always the kid in like dance lessons who was like turning the wrong way, but I felt like I was doing the right thing. So confidence is key. But
You were the best dancer on your softball team.
thank you. I always provided the entertainment.
Yes, you did.
I always provided the
Was
entertainment.
it Taylor or Hope that I remember you telling me once it was a T-ball game or something, and somebody like stopped in the outfield? Ladybug!
That was a little kid. That was a different kid on
Oh,
my
okay.
team I was
Sorry, I'm
coaching.
glad-
But
I'm glad
great story.
it was you.
Hope's thing is that she'd get to the base and then like step off and clean it off.
Yeah.
And then I would kick more dirt on it while I was bored, like waiting for stuff to happen and then clean it off again.
Like someone just hit a triple and she's standing on the base just kicking dirt.
Whatever. Or I'd like sit in the outfield and like pick the dandelions out of the ground. Like I had no interest in being there. But anyways, about
Sorry.
dancing.
Yes,
Sorry. No, but like I am taking a bar class for the first time this coming weekend. And I'm very excited because it's not completely dance, but I feel like it's the beginning of ballet, kind of. Like it's similar techniques and stuff. And I feel like it's going to kind of get me back into that movement kind of style. But one of the kind of connecting back to your last question about like what is a feeling that just like the tingly feeling, you know? An experience I thought of is like when our family was dancing at a wedding. It's just like that was probably one of the happiest memories I have. It's just like nobody cares what you look like. You're just like releasing energy and just happy to be around with the people. And like it's just I don't know. It's a feeling that I haven't really gotten comparison with.
Right. What's one of my happiest memories too?
Yeah, that was a great one.
Oh, me. Yeah, mine would be going back to like writing stories. When I was a kid, I kind of what Hope said on side A is like she used to write songs. I would write songs sometimes too, just randomly. But like I have so many like half full notebooks of like complete stories I've started and just kind of dropped off and then started writing another one. But that was like when I was a kid. I wish I would have more patience to do that now, especially collaborative writing. And it's something that I haven't done very much, but like there's an example I can pull up Brady might not know is like we were after our very first episode in season 1, we went back to my apartment and we just had like, I don't know if you guys know what the sleepover sillies are. It was essentially that where you're just weird, like where everyone's tired but like having fun, and it's just like everyone can laugh at everything. Like Brady and I wrote pretty much a YouTube bit where this guy goes into the forest and has an encounter with Bigfoot. I can't go into any more details right now, but like there's that, like that's so much. And like there was our softball team after the first season. I wrote like a 15 to 20 minute documentary in about 30 minutes of our softball team, like of our perils. Yeah, and I sent it to my friends, and they're like, "You need to do this right now." Like I had my dad in it, where he's gonna be like, "Yeah, the Pig Boys were coming out of the Midwest as one of the hottest teams in the nation."
That's right. I was playing myself.
Yeah,
right?
you're gonna play yourself as a reporter. And we're all gonna be, and I used to just do bits like that all the time, and I haven't done that in years. So I should get back to that. But because I have a whole, like Hope gave me 3 Christmases ago, she gave me a tiny book, and it's just a blank book, and it says a tiny book for your big ideas or whatever. And so I wrote, like the first thing I have in it is like 30 random sketches that I think would be hilarious. And maybe it's just me who thinks it's hilarious. They're based on history, so it probably is just me who thinks it's hilarious. But like one is like, could you imagine the first king who didn't go to war for his people? Like, you know, like in the ancient times. Like, could you imagine that conversation? Like, that's just what I want to do. Like, I want to make those up.
These guys are really threatening us. Let's just be cool about it.
I get him like they're coming back from war, and the king's like, "Man, that was brutal," and his like assistant's like, "Yeah, man, that was tough. Like that was a bad one." He goes, "Oh well, I think you guys should attack the West." And then he's like, "You guys?" He's like, I don't think I'm gonna go on this."
It would be such a strong hit for this army to lose its strongest leader. I think you should go, please.
Yeah, I need someone like Brady with me so we can just bounce these off each other the whole time. But no, I want to get back to doing stuff like that.
Nice.
Side B stands for
should.
bits, baby.
And I'd like to leave you with, we'll end up side B, kind of like we side A, where we don't answer the question. I just want you to think about it. So we're talking about, this whole thing's about passion. Is it better to live passionate all the time or none of the time? Do what makes you feel, do what you've forgotten you loved. Find your passion. That's side B.